Happy birthday, dear Retro Inc. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Retro Inc. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Hello everyone and welcome back to Retro Inc. episode number 60, our 1 year anniversary special. Hello guys, how you doing?
Very well, very happy, very excited.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Glad we're here.
Yeah, and that was a little song by my daughter for us that she recorded yesterday. It's cute, but it's great to be here, isn't it? I did honestly. It's a bit weird because obviously I've had outlets before, and you know, little projects I've done, and I've never got to this sort of milestone. And wouldn't want to do it with anyone else, guys. To be honest with you. So you know, thank you for doing it with us. We have now, I mean, it might be episode 60, but this is actually not including today. We've done 65 episodes.
With our specials included,
with
yeah.
Our specials included, yeah. And our, you know, I guess we had a guest appearance, obviously, from Steve, and you know, we've had
Ian help host the Ship One show.
Sorry.
Ian also.
Yeah, sorry, saying Ian. Ian came on one show, and we've done our other, you know, our year in retros, which we've still got to get back on top of and things. But you know, 65 episodes. That's, I should imagine, somewhere near 100 hours with us. To be honest with you, with the length of some of them. So you know, that's it's amazing to be sitting here. It feels like yesterday we started. To be honest with you, I look back through that catalogue and I'm like, wow, we're in 30 countries now as well. Do you know that?
Whoa.
A little count up earlier, so 30 countries. I'd like to be able to say thank you in each language, but you know,
unfortunately we can't.
Manage English.
Well, we know English and Spanish, so gracias. I mean, that's one of the most spoken languages in the world, aren't they? So, yeah, I only know Shishini and I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. That's Mandarin. I think that was from Rush Hour or something. I know that from. But, so yeah, and also you heard new music because we're now in season 2. So that music was Adam's as well. Great music there, mate. Thank you. So that's gonna be our little theme tune now for the next year until Adam comes up with something better.
If anyone would like some music for their podcast, do let me know.
You should start a Fiverr store up for it, mate. Dude. That's what you need to do. Yeah, stop giving it away for free. Except for to me, I'm not paying.
But we've got a packed show, haven't we, for this one?
Well, we have got a very packed show. Kind of put the feelers out. Asked anyone if they wanted to send us something in for the show. Just send us a little message. And we have literally, I mean, at one point I didn't think there was much, and then I realised it had all gone to spam. And there is, I mean, you've seen there, I've got pages and pages of people's emails and messages that have been sent in to us. I've got a lovely voicemail from the guys over at Generation X-Wing to play on here. There is a lovely question in that as well, a nice little question we can hash out and have a little chat about some retro goodness. So yeah, we're getting to that in a minute. But Adam, you had a announcement as well you wanted to make, didn't you?
We have a very special announcement, and I'm honoured to announce this on the Retro Inc. anniversary show, 1 year today. that Andy and I started this podcast retrospectively looking back at all from the day's news of yesteryear's news and films and TVs, toys and more. And then obviously our great friend and co-host podcaster Jeremy joined us from TSW. And it's an absolute honour and very proud to announce our very first Star Wars Commonwealth Knighthood. Now, usually a podcast will announce the name of the person who has contributed beyond others and has been an integral part of the Commonwealth via podcasts, Facebook community, Twitter, Instagram, and of course being in the Patreon community with a monetary contribution helping us podcasters achieve more with our podcasts. And I'm very proud, very, very proud as a fellow Knight of the Commonwealth to announce 2 new knights to join the large round table of knights. The first knighthood is being honoured to James O. Flatterly.
Fantastic.
It's a great honour to have you and part of our group, James. And James,
well done, James.
Your contribution has been magnificent.
He's a great bloke as well.
Friendly nature has been noticed, and being a patron and a long-time subscriber and member of the Commonwealth is duly noted.
And you've got to go listen to his podcast as well. You can't leave that out, mate.
So The Green Door is his podcast, and it's a fantastic show, and we absolutely love it. So congratulations, James. Yeah. We applaud you for your work within the community and the Commonwealth.
To be honest with you, mate, I don't think The Green Door is even just a podcast show. If you want to know about Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings, they don't just deep dive. They're in the pages. It's ridiculous. I mean, honestly, it's a bit of a struggle sometimes because how deep they go. But if you want to really know your Tolkien and you want to go in there and they break down the Silmarillion literally page by page, that makes it so much more digestible as a piece of work. It's I mean, I know their release schedule is quite staggered, but there's a reason for that because it's so much to take in. Some of the podcasts you have to listen to 2 or 3 times because it's like a companion piece to reading it, and that's no fault. It's amazing. So go listen to it if you haven't.
The second knighthood goes to Mike Michelaney Russo.
Hey, get in.
You are also knighted for your amazing contributions, your Patreon membership, and long-time Facebook group member of many groups and Twitter contributions. Congratulations and well done. We thank you for both being members of the community and now Knights of the Commonwealth. Congratulations to you both. And look forward to joining you on the Twitter group, which you will obviously be invited to. And congratulations to you both.
Well done, guys.
Knights of the Commonwealth.
I mean, obviously, Andy and myself are not Knights of the Commonwealth, but Adam is.
Yes. And the wonderful thing, actually,
we don't contribute.
is the wonderful thing is that we don't knight 2 people. It's usually just the one person, but because this is a special show and because it's us and we haven't done a knighthood yet, we could announce 2, so that is pretty special.
Fantastic. Well done to him.
Over to you, Andy.
Over to me. Right. Okay. So we're gonna sort of break this up a little bit. We've had lots of messages in from people, and this show is a bit self-gratifying. And I did speak to you 2 before this, and I was a little bit cautious to go in and just sort of sit there for an hour and a half or however long we do this and sing our own praises from emails from people. But you know what? I've enjoyed it, so I don't care if you don't want to listen. Coming to episode 61 and it'll just be back to normal. But I'm going to start with a little one here, and this is from Bearded Bove. I haven't got a clue who this is. That's all I had. Was, hi guys, just like to say how much I enjoy your podcast. Always glean or pick up some bit of info I find interesting, and always love a bit of banter or occasional sarcasm. Keep it up. I think that's Adam with the sarcasm there. But yeah, thank you, Bearded Bove. You know what I liked about this, when we got these in, there's some names that pop up on here that are obvious, the usual suspects. There's some names on here I didn't know, and I like that. That made me feel really happy. I probably know Bearded Bove. It's probably someone I work with or something, but, until they use a real name, I don't care. Oh, you know him. Brilliant. Him. Okay. Yeah. Skip on to the next one here, because this is actually a bit of a biggie. This is from the one and only Matt Keegan. Right, so I'm going to pre-warn there is some expletives in here. So if I don't know how I'm going to do this. Yeah, you'll get the gist of where they are. Okay, but sorry, I'll just have a sip on my latte because this is a big one. Because I'm debonair. More on that later. Okay. A year. Who'd have thunk it? My very sincere congratulations on traversing the sun, 1-4 rotation, whilst talking non-stop about all things geeky, nerdy, plastic, electronic, and spacey, as in outer space, not Kevin. It is truly like reliving your past and reminiscing on all the toys and games I used to play with at my neighbour's house. Not my house, as my dad said we were dirt poor. It was only after I left home that I discovered my dad was filthy rich as just holding out on me. He retired in the tropics when he was 47. What poor man can do that? But I digress. What Adam, Andy and the mighty Jeremy bring to this show is a love for our youth, a love for adventure, a love for imagination, a love for the creative mind that resides in all kids, even kids in their 40s and 50s like us. Cue Adam's tears, I can see him welling up already. As adults, we now know the world isn't what we were promised as kids. We dreamed big, but along the way we were told to grow up. Listening to Retro Inc. allows us to be reminded that we can still be adults and kids at heart. We can do both. And for allowing us to tap into our youth, I say thank you to those 3 funny-looking poms on the other side of the world. The youthful and suspiciously sprightly Adam, the charismatic and debonair Andy, and the mightiest of them all, Jeremy the Strong. They've shown us it's okay to embrace what makes us feel young and to revel in what makes us happy. We may not all agree on which was the best episode of Red Dwarf, or if Doctor Who is bat boring and should have ended with Tom Baker, or which of the Transformers movies made me feel like eating those expired mothballs I found under the sink. Hint, it was all of them. But I know I can always appreciate the humorous ramblings of Britain's finest geeks, the Retro Inc. podcast. Cheers, lads.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Matt.
When Matt sent that to me, I'm sorry I didn't reply to anyone else. They're all wonderful messages, but when Matt sent that to me, I was genuinely moved, to be honest with you. And I know we know Matt, and I know he's a friend in the capacity of a crazy Aussie so-and-so the other side of the world. But, you know, to hear words like that, Adam's wiping his eyes. Look at him. He is wiping his eyes. He's had to take his glasses off. He's going to tell me now it's just a bit of dirt. But that was wonderful. That was absolutely beautiful message from Matt. And like I said, when we get things like that, it kind of makes it feel worthwhile. Right. There is, I'm going to go on to the next one. I'm going to just read one more out, and then we're going to go on to the message, the audio message we've got from Rob over at Generation X-Wing, because that's going to be a bit of conversation start of that one, and we can jump back into some of these a bit later. But right, so this is from Bob Samuels.
Oh.
Okay. Does anyone know Bob?
Oh, I do, actually.
Oh, you do? Right, okay. Yeah. You're supposed to say no to some of these to make it sound like they're not all our friends that we're strong arms into this.
I appreciate that Bob's taking the time out to message. I've not spoken to Bob for a long time, and it's nice to
all right, there you go. No, so it's a capacity rather than a friend.
He's probably asking for his tenner back, Jeremy.
Right, have you got these emails? First thing, Jeremy, can I have my tenner back? Right, this is from Bob. I'm as nostalgic as the next nerd, and this podcast hits the right buttons, and not by furiously mashing them in a hope of getting a power move, my fight game secret sauce. We've seen some good and some not so good reboots of classic 80s and 90s stuff recently, and it's proved to me that this era is still relevant, and that era is still relevant and deserves diving back into. Keep up the good work, Bob. Cheers, Bob.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And that is it. This is kind of what got me onto it, because the good and the bad. And the bad thing is probably what got me onto even wanting to do this podcast to a degree, because you start, I mean, especially us guys that do watch this stuff back. You know, like last night I said I watched Big Trouble in Little China and Temple of Doom. And the reason for that is because the oldies are the best. And, you know, you can release all these good new films like Endgame and stuff, but these films have already proven the test of time. And these games and these properties and TV shows and everything we watch, and you know, this is why we do it, isn't it? Yeah, because of these eras are relevant and still deserve diving back into, as Bob put it. Right, sorry, I've just got to get this message.
Hello, Retro Inc. podcast. This is Rob Williams from the Generation X-Wing podcast. I want to first of all congratulate you guys on hitting 1 year. It's fantastic. I'm so proud of you guys for doing so. You guys have come a long way. So you guys wanted a question. I got a question. Here's my question. Now, we are both very similar in our podcast styles where we talk about things that are very retro, very classic 80s and 90s and all that sort of stuff. One of the things I've noticed when doing this show was when we look back at some TV shows or movies, and for the first time in a long time. So here's my question for you guys. Which TV show or movie, or both if you want, has kind of stood the test of time best for you guys after revisiting after a long period of time? And on the opposite side of that, which movies or TV shows has really not held up as well as you thought it would? Like, you've gone back to it and it's just like, this isn't as cool as I thought it was. So, I don't know. I'm very curious because like I said, when we go back into our memories, it's just not the same. Looking back at a movie or TV show now is just not the same as it was when we were kids, obviously. But I'm very curious to see what you guys got. Other than that, again, congratulations for 1 year anniversary. And here's to another 80. Let's say 80 more. 85 more. Yeah, we'll be doing this. We'll be doing this for another 85 years. Let's do that. All right. See you guys later. Bye.
There you go. That was from Rob over at Gen X.
Thank you, Rob. That is so cool. And what a great question.
Was a good question. Sorry, I didn't want to play it to you two before as I could prepare, but I know that this is the sort of question we'd throw at each other mid-pod anyway and then go on a tangent for. So I thought, to be honest with you, when I saw that from Rob, I thought, we don't need a show, that'd do us.
Everyone get comfy. This could take a while.
This could take a while. But no, I think, I sort of put myself in the same boat. I didn't really think about it too much, to be honest with you, because a few things sort of popped to mind straight away, and I was like, I've got ammunition for this question. It's a great question as well. This is the sort of thing we talk about anyway, like I say. So, so let's break it down. So let's start with the positive side of it. Ones that we've watched that have stood the test of time, right? So I'll pass it to you first, Jeremy. Can you think of anything that you've watched? I mean, I think what Rob's getting at there is that gap, when we watched it as kids or when we were younger, and then we've watched it back later on, rather than something that we carried through for us. Yeah. Because I was going to use Red Dwarf as a point of mine, but then I thought, no, that's something that I started watching them when I was 5 years old, and I have religiously and continuously watched every year of my life. So there is no point of time where I can forget what it was like. And I know that people watch Red Dwarf now and go, you mental. So anything that you can think of that stood the test of time for you?
Oh, God, loads. I watched The Terminator again not long ago. I've not seen that for a few years. That was still incredible. I think it's easy to pick holes in the ones that haven't, because you don't really, when you watch them, you're not even considering the fact that it still looks amazing. It's the ones that jar when you go and watch a movie that you've not seen for a long time, and you go, actually, that's not done so well. Because I think the ones that you hold dearest and that hold up well are the ones, like you said, you've carried on watching. There's very few I can think of where you go back and go, I've not watched that for ages, but I watched Quigley Down Under, which was a random Tom Selleck movie set in Australia, which I remembered really, really enjoying. And I watched it again, I think it was on Netflix last year, and I watched it again, and I still thought, actually, I really still enjoy that. And I've not watched it for ages. And it's one of the ones where you worry where you're going to sit down and go, I remember it being brilliant, and then you watch it and you go, actually, no. But the Quigley Down Under, I really enjoyed that. And it was one of the ones that I only saw once in the 80s. In fact, I watched Fright Night today for the first time in ages. Yeah. And if you consider it's a campy, fun 80s horror, it's very much in it of its day, but it's still really enjoyable.
Yeah. Quick side note to that. What do you think of the remake?
I didn't hate it.
I love it. I love it. Anton Yelchin is a thing for me. I'm gutted about him because he would have been one to watch for me. But and I agree. Fright Night is one that probably in the last year I watched again after quite some time, and yeah, it's the same sort of vein, isn't it, as American Werewolf?
Yes,
it's that campy, over the top 80s, 70s, 80s horror that it still works if you look at it in the same vein. But then I think it's one of those that nostalgically we can enjoy it, but it hasn't faded. But I think things like that would be hard for a modern audience of younger people to go back to.
I watched it with Freddie.
Oh, right, okay.
Freddie watched it. He loved it.
Cool, okay. That's...
I think, it's not an excessively gory, horrifying... I know I'm scared of it. It's not an over-the-top kind of horror.
The only time I ever remember being scared of that as a kid when I watched it was Evil Ed, when he's down the alley and starts changing. The first time when Eddie starts going a bit crazy. Isn't it Eddie, his mate, who turns into... Yeah. I think I remember that as a kid, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But yes, it's a great movie, that. Any more, or should I pass it to Adam?
Well, I think most of the ones that I enjoy, I go back to quite often. It's the ones you've not seen for 10 or 15 years that surprise you, I think, are more of the ones you go, oh, God, that was brilliant. Flash Gordon. But I go back to that often.
Yeah.
Because it's in and about its time. It's something you can look at.
You could say about Alien as well, couldn't you? Things like that. They haven't aged. They're ageless movies.
Alien could come out now looking exactly like that, and you wouldn't bat an eyelid.
No, aside from her perm, there is nothing in that film that suggests the era.
Good.
But then even that might work because fashion comes back around.
Yeah.
Well, Andy Gutierrez from the Star Wars show is rocking that perm right now. I mean, it's all good.
True.
Yeah.
It's all natural. Right, Adam, what you got?
Well, on a positive note, I've revisited the original TV show V, and that stood up incredibly well. Logan's Run, the movie, stood up incredibly well. Battlestar Galactica, the original TV 80s series, stood up very well, although some of those shots of the starfighters look a little bit... you can see like the outline where they've superimposed space.
I think what Rob's point is not even like visually.
Yeah, I mean, episode 4, the original theatrical cut, you can see exactly the same way they did the special effects. But in terms of story, Battlestar Galactica holds up incredibly well. The negative one, are we going to go to that yet? Because my negative...
We'll go around negative in a minute. Yeah, so for my positives was The Last Starfighter was one.
Blade Runner was the other one, sorry.
Yes, that's good. But Last Starfighter, I mean, until we started doing this, that Last Starfighter was always something I watched as a kid. I know that film back to front. I don't have to watch it to know that story. But I suddenly thought to myself, I haven't watched this in years. So I went back and I watched it, and still now...
stands up incredibly well.
It's fantastic. Yeah, the CGI is...
Tron-like.
Poor. No, it's better than Tron, I think, because it's actual CGI. Tron was all hand done, wasn't it? All the colours were drawn on afterwards, which is a feat in itself. But there is actual CGI in The Last Starfighter when they go into space, and it's bad. But I tell you what, I've seen some B movies that come out now, like Tornado films. I'm not going to say certain ones, but they're just as bad, and they're made now.
To be fair, the way I see the Last Starfighter is that he's playing the arcade machine, right? And then when he actually goes into space, it looks like the arcade machine.
Yeah, I know, and it's great.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it works. Even artistically, that works. But the other one I wanted to bring up has really stood up for me, that popped into my head as I was thinking about this, was The Flash. The original 90s series of The Flash with John Wesley Shipp playing Barry Allen. I don't know. Have you seen this at all, Jeremy?
I have. Yes, I am.
It's very hard to get over. A friend of mine did manage to acquire a copy of it for me, so I will lend it to you, Jeremy, because it is well worth a watch. If you watch the new series, he actually plays his dad. His dad in it, so that's a nice little nod to it. But it's a fantastic series. It's a great DC offering at a time when the only other thing you had was Captain America, and even that kind of stands up a bit. But The Flash as a series just works. Mark Hamill was the trickster in it, and he is Mark Hamill being amazing. You know, you can obviously see some early sort of signs of the Joker in there when he's playing that. But Mark Hamill comes back as the Trickster in the new Flash series as well as the Trickster. So that's really cool how they kind of, you know, join the two together. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to watch the Flash, that really stands up the test of time, I think. But yeah, let's go with the negative. Let's go back around the other way. So Adam, so I know you're champion at the bit.
Buck Rogers in the 21st Century TV show.
Ooh.
Series 2 is pretty appalling. And I was an avid fan of it at the time, but the first series, it just didn't do the same thing for me. And I watched it all the way through, and it was cheesy, and everything about it, you know, just didn't really work, and I was really disappointed.
Oh,
it just wasn't the TV show that I remembered.
Mad.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I would assume, knowing you, that you would still highly regard.
It went down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a shame when this happens, and this is the bit of the question I didn't really like, because it is a shame when these things happen. You get so many memories of things that you grew up with watching, and you're suddenly like, I don't like that anymore.
I was with Jeremy when I bought the box set, the Battlestar Galactica box set, and I was really excited about getting that. And I then went out and got series 1 and 2 of Buck Rogers, and I was so ready to sit down and watch these. And the first pilot episode was fantastic, and it just got worse as it went on, more cheesy, and it just wasn't how I remembered it. And I was really quite sad. The same thing with Battle Beyond the Stars. The movie Battle Beyond the Stars.
No, don't you dare.
Well, there you go. That's the thing, isn't it? How I remembered that was seeing that at the cinema. I hadn't seen it since the cinema, and I had it pretty high. I bought it digitally and I watched it, and it just wasn't the same film.
I've watched that hundreds of times. Hundreds. I love that movie because it's a cheese fest and it's great.
Yeah, it's far too cheesy for me. It came across to me as being much more action-packed, and it wasn't. Yeah, it was far too cheesy, man. Far too cheesy for me, certainly. Andy, what about you?
I go with Jeremy. I'm still thinking.
Well, I've got two that instantly sprung to mind. Both fairly controversial, I would probably imagine. The first one being Highlander. I thought when I watched Highlander, I love Highlander. I watched it a lot as a kid. Watched it again a few years ago and thought, you know what? It's not as good as I remember.
That's bizarre, you know, because I watched that recently because we'd been talking about it, and I thought, oh, this is really good. I'm really enjoying this. It's much better than I remember. How weird is that?
There we go. Yeah, see?
The opposite. It was just...
That's why the three of us do a podcast.
It is indeed, isn't it?
We not agree, which is wonderful.
And I just think it's me and Jeremy never agree. Like, we just literally anything happen.
We do when we pick on Adam.
Yeah, that's why we do it a lot.
Yeah, but we sat at the table today, Jeremy and I, and honestly, I was bringing up some stuff that I said, "Oh, you'd love this. You'd watch this on Netflix." And afterwards, I thought, "Yeah, I don't think he'd like it." Yeah, it's far too story-driven.
Another one that I've got, which again is controversial, and it isn't because I dislike the movie. I enjoy the movie. We've spoken about the movie, but it's not aged well. Would be Avatar. It looks like a cartoon these days.
It does, yeah. I watched it back the other day. I mean, I can still praise the CGI for some of the vistas and the scenery, but I actually think the CGI for the actual creatures, like the Na'vi, has aged pretty poorly.
Yeah,
in this time.
It's again, I still enjoy the movie and I watch it whenever it's on, and I've got a copy of it somewhere that hidden away. But so yeah, I enjoy it. But I just think that it's not.
Yeah, I think that's what the question is enjoyment value, really. You know, I could sit there and I don't care how bad a film is visually, as long as the story is good. Exactly.
It looks better for me.
Let's go back to episode 50 odd that was killer mushroom people or something. That says it all, doesn't it? Earlier than that, but yeah, for me, I mean, excuse me. There was one that straight away jumped out in my mind, and this is a bizarre left field answer, but I don't know if you two know of. I think it's the Garbage Patch Kids or Garbage Pail Kids film. Right now, I remember this when I was a kid, man. I loved this film. I don't know you know, this is a memory as well. This is going back some years since I last watched it. But me and a housemate of mine at the time, we were talking about it, and she was like, "Oh my God, you remember that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I used to watch it all the time as a kid." And he was like, "It's brilliant." And we went on a mission, and this was before DVD, like big DVD shops and stuff like that. And you still had video rental places. So we went every video rental place we could find to find a copy of Garbage Patch, or Garbage Patch Kids. It depends where you are, I think. And yeah, we picked up a copy of it. We got it back, and we were so excited. We put it on. It was atrocious. And I'm not even talking watchable. We turned it off after, I think, 10, 15 minutes of this film. And it was bizarre to remember so fondly a property and then to not even enjoy it nostalgically. You know, like I say, the ones that are good, we all said it, the ones that are good are easy to point out. Like I said to you, I watched Indiana Jones Temple of Doom last night, and the first time in years that I've sat and watched that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I thought to myself, why have I not given Indy this time of day since probably Kingdom of the Crystal Skull come out? And that's not slight on it, because we spoke about that, and I love that film. But it was bizarre to see myself enjoy something that I already knew I enjoyed, but enjoy it more. But to think about things you don't like, there is so many of them. I'm just having a mind fart right now about what they are. I mean, when I was writing the good ones down, I had loads, and I should have written the bad ones down. But it happens with a lot of things, even video games. If we're going to talk about stuff, you go back to the Mega Drive, I play a lot of retro gaming, and I love Toe Jam and Earl, and it stood the test of time. But you know what? Sonic, it ain't that great.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not. You know, I put it on to play it with April, and I think we put about 10 minutes, and I was like, I'm so bored. It's generic. You can just get through each level quite easily as well. So yeah. Right, anyway, that was Rob's question. Anyone got anything to add for that?
I have, actually, because today is it's the anniversary of the teaser poster for The Phantom Menace. And on that note, I would like to say that I think The Phantom Menace has stood the test of time. I think the film, now visiting it, I think the CGI is Star Wars. It looks like Star Wars. It doesn't look the same as you were saying with Avatar, cartoon-like. I think the story is brilliant. It is brilliant, and I still think there are scenes in that film that are mind-blowingly good. Mind-blowingly good. Mate,
there are some of the best scenes in Star Wars in that movie, and I said this recently to you on a couple of pods ago that I watched it back just after May the 4th, and me and April watched it, and how much I've actually reverted my views. And I suppose this is actually going on Rob's question, that I watched it a long time ago. And I know that, again, that film I know back to back, but I hadn't seen it in years, and I watched it through my daughter's eyes, and it's so much better. And that film, I don't like the CGI. That's an argument we can have a different time. But the story's there, the visuals are there, and there is some of the best scenes in Star Wars there. You know, there's the best lightsaber fight, arguably, in that movie between...
It stands up beautifully well.
It is. And I mean, Darth Maul, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, that scene is flawless. And, you know, you can't...
Ships look incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I think that's one of the ones that I enjoy more now than I did when it came out.
Yep, totally. More on Star Wars later.
Rob, thank you very much for that question. Really fantastic.
It was a great little question. It broke it up. Now I'm gonna send this message through. Who wants to read one out?
Go ahead.
Okie dokie. Right, I'm just gonna, through the wizardry of internet, I'm gonna send this to you. If you can, here you go.
So, this next comment comes from Matthew Hughes. And Matthew says, just a quick email to say, well done, guys, and happy anniversary. Keep up the great work from one happy listener. Matthew, thank you very much. Cheers, Matt. That's great stuff.
Do you know what? I'm going to send you a few more, yeah? All right.
Yeah, he's good at that, isn't
he? Hang on. There you go. So you can take it in turns there if you want. Have a go. Right.
Oh, that's wonderful. So next one comes from Mark Cummings. And he says, love it. Some real great work, guys. Thank you very much, Mark, for your sending that in to us.
Thank you. I love the next one.
This is from the wonderful Rick Villanueva, and he wishes us a very happy first anniversary. And he says, just a quick message from me. Cheers, Rick.
Straight to the point. Yeah, there you go. Jigs.
And now A newly knighted Mike Mashlani, who says, "Wow, it's been a year already. Congratulations, guys. Keep up the good work. Here's to another year of walking down memory lane. Mike, aka Gundark 2000." Cheers,
Brilliant.
Mike. Wonderful stuff,
Mike.
mate. Thank you all.
I'll let you read that some more.
Really.
Just get him to read it, mate. Better at him than me.
Oh, okay, I'll do one in a minute then. Right, I'm going to read this one because this is from, and then we're gonna have a little chat about something else. Or we could do the quiz. More on that in a minute. Right, this one is from our very, very good friend and one of best contributors that we have in the group. And I know he's a friend of yours, Jeremy, but he is.
Nice.
He's stood up, he's come to the plate, and he's brought us a brilliant article that we've published. We had a whole episode based on that article as well. And this is David Brown. Okay. Keep it up, guys. I just want to say that this is the greatest podcast ever. Happy anniversary, guys. Keep up this, and you'll be number one podcast in the world. All the best, Mr. David, Mr. Vane Brown. All right.
Oh, thank you very much.
David, yeah. Cheers, mate. I don't think we'll ever be the number one podcast in the world.
Maybe in Latvia.
Move over Joe Rogan.
Maybe in Latvia. We never know.
Maybe.
We're big there.
Out in Mongolia, I don't care, but somewhere. We're going up in Kazakhstan. They're loving us there at the moment. But the greatest podcast ever. David, there is other podcast catchers out there if you're not getting many. You have to just search for some stuff. You'll find something. All right. We've got a few more that we'll go through in a minute. But do you two? Oh, actually, we've got quite a few here. Shall I read another one out and then we get on to the quiz?
Yeah, go and do another one.
Yeah, because it's a big old quiz. This, right? Okay. Right. So this one, I'm gonna read this one because this is from Kyle Russell over at Tumbling Sabre.
Cheers, Kyle.
Okay. Hello, lads. Carl from Tumbling Sabre here, wishing you a very happy first anniversary. The three of you have such a camaraderie between you that I find irresistible. He doesn't see behind the scenes, does he? No. If you had asked me a year ago if I wanted to hear a bunch of guys talk about sweets, I would have flatly said no. But now I very much enjoy listening to you guys talk about candy. Who would have guessed? Even if I have no idea what some of these things are, you guys still paint a cozy picture of simpler times. By the by, Terry's chocolate orange is still tire fire. But hey, nobody's perfect, right? Smiley face. Right then, from Star Wars, Marvel, DC, cartoons and video games, to all of the franchises that I'm far less familiar with, I've greatly enjoyed listening to you guys wax nostalgic or offer up your candid opinions on anything and everything in our world of nerd. Thanks for all the great podcasting you do. Congrats on getting to your first birthday. You're doing a great job. We're lucky to have you as part of the Star Wars Commonwealth, and here's to many more years of podcasting. Cheers, Carl from Tumbling Sabre.
Thanks, my friend. Cheers, mate.
Lovely.
Cheers, Carl. It is lovely. Lovely messages here from people. We've got a couple of little ones to finish off the show with in a bit, but I think we need to get to
lovely message.
This quiz, right? Have you got your pen and paper ready?
Oh,
because
okay.
This week's quiz is a big one. So, this week's quiz, and I'm going to ask you both to have your phones down, away, apart from you, Jeremy, because you use it for Skype.
Yep.
So unfair advantage here. If your screen goes black, Adam, we're going to cease the quiz and you'll win. Okay. This is going to be a long quiz. It's going to make up the bulk of the rest of the show that's going to be extra long anyway. It's into 3 rounds. There's lots of questions here. You will need a pen and a paper for some of it. So this is a quick fire round. I'm going to give you 7 seconds maximum to answer. Whoever jumps in first, judge's decision is final. And if you get it wrong, it goes automatically to the next person, who will be allotted a little bit more time to answer it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, quick fire round. Number 1. In Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, see what I watched last night, what 80s superstar appears briefly in a cameo at the airport?
Dan Aykroyd.
Boom. Jeremy, 1 point. Jeremy, should have put a tally here. All right, I've done it. Okay, number 2. Michael Jackson's Bad was released in which year?
88.
1986.
1987, I'm afraid. So, there you go. Number 3. In Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, Kirk and the crew time travel to 1980s San Francisco in search of what type of animal?
Wales.
Whale.
I'm going to give that to Jeremy because it was humpback whale was the answer I was looking for. It was the breed of whale. So, it's 2 to Jeremy. You still got a chance, Adam. Don't worry. Number 4. What gaming accessory did Nintendo release in 1989 that would earn iconic status in the movie The Wizard despite its limited functionality and buggy performance?
A wand.
No,
Game Boy? No.
it was the Power Glove. First of all, I'm ashamed that neither of you know what the Power... Well, Adam knows what the Power Glove is now. But secondly, I'm ashamed you've never seen The Wizard. Number 5. Name the hit 80s TV show that featured Marty Castillo, Gina Navarro, Calabrese, and Noogie Lamont.
Are they characters or actors?
Characters. 3, 2...
Bell.
Adam, you've got a bit more time here. Iconic 80s TV show.
Can you name the characters again?
Marty Castillo, Gina Navarro Calabrese, and Noogie Lamont. Don't know if they're characters or actors now, but either way, neither of you know them. I have to pass on that one. It was Miami Vice.
The second name, please. The second
No, it was
name?
Miami Vice was the answer. Right, number 6. Who was the main character in Metal Gear Solid 2?
Pass.
Andy Smith.
Raiden. That was a trick question because I was hoping at least one of you was going to say Snake. Right, number 7. Be ready on the buzzers with this one. What video game is often described as the worst game of all time?
E.T.
Another point to Jeremy there. So be quick, Adam. Adam, be very quick on this one. What is the name of the town in which Buffy takes place? Three, 2, 1.
Sunnydale.
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 So out of a possible 8 points, Jeremy is on 3, Adam is on 0. Now pen and paper ready, please, gentlemen. Because I said this quiz was going to be hard. You ain't seen nothing yet. Right. This is our Star Wars round.
Oh, this is Adam round.
Not necessarily, Jeremy. This might be a little bit of thoughtful thinking. Now, it's going to be hard for our listeners. I might have to cut some time off of this one. So let's just say I'm going to ask you the question and then I'm going to give you a couple of minutes and I'll cut it down for the listeners so they haven't got to wait around. Okay. But you're going to have to write some of this down. Okay. So, number 1, there's only 2 questions in this because they're biggies. Order these battles of the Star Wars universe into chronological order. The subjugation of Geonosis, the Battle of Yavin, occupation of Bespin, liberation of Ryloth, and the Sith Civil War. You have a couple of minutes.
Okay, got it.
What are they again?
The subjugation of Geonosis, the Battle of Yavin, occupation of Bespin, the liberation of Ryloth, and the Sith Civil War.
Ryloth. What on earth is Ryloth?
Got it. Yeah.
I know Adam's probably... So he's using names of planets as chronological landmarks here, aren't you? It's the way to do this. Right.
I've never heard of Ryloth.
Are we ready then? Are we ready?
Actually, I'm going to go... Oh, that's going to be... So that would be 1, 2,
I've beaten him already,
3,
so I'm not even on time.
4 and 5. Right, okay, there we go.
This one, I will award 3 points for this question if it is answered correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I may consider points if it's near perfect because that is a question and a half, right? Okay, so Adam thinks he's got it. I'm going to go with him first. So start the earliest first, so chronologically earliest first.
I think I've got this right. I think it's Sith, Rylon, Geonosis, Yavin, Bespin.
Big 3 points there for Adam, mate. I am colour me impressed.
No, don't worry
Colour
about that.
me impressed. Right, what did you have, Jeremy? Just for...
I did Geonosis, the Civil War, Ryloth, Yavin and Bespin, because I didn't have a clue.
I'm going to award Adam a bonus point if he can tell me the era in which the Sith Civil War was.
Well, that's Sith Civil War was Old Republic. No, was hang on. Star Wars Unleashed. I think. Right, now you got me now because I'm questioning myself.
It was pre Old Republic.
Pre-Old
It
Republic.
was pre-Old Republic. Yeah.
But I can't remember what it's called, and I'm now thinking about Unleashed now for some reason. So, yeah,
might mention it in there because there's a lot of Sith lore in that game, isn't there? I know. Only sorry, yeah, there's a lot of Sith lore in that. Right, okay. So number 2. There is 2 right answers to this that I'll allow. Okay, name all the planets Master Yoda sets foot on in the 6 canonical films. This is obviously pre-Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
So name all the planets Master Yoda sets foot on in the 6 canonical films. There is 6 is the answer here. Okay, so there is 6. Hang on. 5, sorry. 5. There's 4 that we see and 1 that is mentioned. If you get them mentioned, I will give you an extra 2 bonus points. So there's 4 correct. That's why I said there's 2 answers here, because there's 4 that we actually see him go to. But there is 1 that is mentioned. So yeah, there's a possibility of 6 points for this if you can get them all right. 1 point each for the right answers, 2 extra if you get the mentioned planet. I'm going to give you a minute.
I can't. The main one, I can't even remember it. I've got 3.
Well, there's potential 3 points. You'll get points each. It's I can see Adam's Star Wars brain kicking in. Inside that skull, there's an extra brain just nestled somewhere else that's just Star Wars. You see that little lump he's got on the top left? That's what it is. It just pushes through there a little bit. Or is that just the lighting? No, it's just the lighting. That's all right. I was worried it was a brain tumour then.
You know what, I'm really struggling with this one because there's 2. I've got 3 definite. Jeremy, you're gonna have to go first on this one, mate.
Right, are we ready to go?
Because I can't. My mind has gone so blank, and I cannot remember the name.
My mind's gone blank on the main one.
Really? I think you might have more than me, so which is terrible because my mind has gone so blank.
Now, I've got 3, and I should know the 4th one.
Right, okay. So
Jeremy, you go first anyway.
Jeremy, go first with just 1. Do 1 each. See what we're going here.
So Dagobah.
Dagobah.
Okay, so you've both got a point there. Dagobah is obviously on that list. So it's now 4 apiece at the moment. Okay. Right. Someone go next.
Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk.
Yep.
Wicked, you've both got that. Okay, so it's 5 apiece.
Yep.
Can we have another one?
I've got Geonosis. Is that what the one?
That is indeed. Did you have that, Adam?
Yes, and then there's another one that's just one planet that's completely covered in one massive city, and for some
That's
reason,
the one that I can't remember.
why is that not in my head? It's just gone.
What, where the Jedi Council is, and
Yeah,
the
which
main
should
one.
be the most.
yeah, it should be, and I'm thoroughly
I'm
disgusted.
disgusted at myself.
At the pair of you right now.
Just not even. It's not even there. It's just.
It's all right. I don't mind starting season 2 with new hosts. That's fine.
Oh, good God, man! I am just shocked that
Whereas
it
glad
just.
Jeremy could turn up for this one. It seemed more important than the usual, apparently. So,
Right.
I'm gonna give you. I'm not gonna give you a clue. I think because in the you're both level, so I'm gonna give you a point just for knowing that it's a city covered in planet covered in a city. It's Coruscant.
Coruscant! Oh, for heaven's sake! Why?
And the other planet that you could have had. Has anyone got the one that is mentioned? Come on, throw a planet at me that you can think of.
Let's have one more go. Was he on? What's the other place he went to? One more, I think.
He didn't go to Naboo, did he? Because he was never there for
No,
that.
there is It never. It's mentioned but not shown. Like I say, I'm
Was
going to
he
give you.
Utapau?
No, I'll give you the answer. It was actually Camino because he had to go there to get the droid army.
He did, yes.
Yeah, so he does go to Camino. It's referenced, but he doesn't really get around much, does he? Dagobah, Coruscant, Camino, Geonosis, and Kashyyyk. I mean, don't get me wrong. When he goes to these places, he does quite a big thing.
Just completely. I saw everything, and the name was just gone. That's ridiculous.
Fights a war with some Wookiees, collects a clone army.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next?
For Hermit. Right, so that was our Star Wars round. I enjoyed that, and I'm actually surprised at how well both of you did. Right. This little round, okay. I have got. Now this is a biggie. This is why it's a long quiz tonight. There is 10, 1 to 10 here. Okay. I'm going to give you an option. I was going to originally assign them, but I don't think that's fair because I think some of you might know. One of you might know about one actor more than another, but this is called Known For. Right. So you're all aware of a little website called IMDb? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Internet Movie Database. It's really good. You go on there and you can type in a film or a star and it'll tell you everything they've been in. But when you type in that famous person's name, a little bar comes up called Known For, and it chooses 4 popular films that person is in that they are known for. So I took my time earlier to go through some real 80s stars, type in their name and see what those 4 known for movies were.
Right.
Do you know what? It's a weird algorithm they've got because there are some people on here this list, and I'm just giving you a pre-warning here. Think outside the box, okay? So I'm going to start with Adam first.
Yes.
You're both on 7 points, so it's all to play for at this. I will give a point for each correct answer.
Right. But
I'll only give you 6 guesses per round to choose 4. Okay, mm-hmm. So you got two wrong answers that you can play with here. Okay, can't be too long. We've got to think fast. And so Adam, choose a number between 1 and 10.
7, please.
Number 7, you have Kathleen Turner. So on IMDb's known for list for Kathleen Turner, what 4 films do you think appear?
Romancing the Stone.
That is 1 point.
Romancing the Stone.
The hardest one on this whole list Adam chose first. I have to put a timer.
No, that's about as best.
That's the only one you're going to get, is it? Okay, right. Okay, so that's 1 point for you there on that. The other options you could have had were Peggy Sue Got Married, The War of the Roses, and Body Heat.
Not seen any of those.
Okay, you've never seen War of the Roses? Fantastic movie. It's Sarah and Michael Douglas, and they're getting divorced and that. Yeah, it's a brilliant movie. Yeah. Okay, so Jeremy, a number between 1 and 10, not number 7.
1.
Number 1. So Jeremy has Harrison Ford.
Oh, good sake.
Yeah, you reckon.
Harrison Ford, yeah?
Yep.
I would say Blade Runner.
That's one.
No.
1 mark.
God, all right, okay. So we got a thing outside the box. Witness.
That is 1 point for Jeremy.
Mosquito Coast.
Actually 2, so you've only got right answers now, otherwise you're out, I'm afraid.
What, the whole round?
Out the round, yeah. Otherwise we'd be here all night. You could just sit there and reel off.
Okay, so Star Wars.
None of them. Believe it or not, Harrison Ford's known for list does not include any Star Wars movies. So the other option...
Graffiti.
Nope, there you go. You've had them all now, mate. But the other films you could have had were Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Fugitive, and Air Force One.
They're the 2 I would have said, yeah.
So well done, there you go. Yeah. So that's...
I was doing too much thinking outside the box there, wasn't I?
Guys, you are 8 in here. 8 all. It's amazing. Right. So, Adam, I want you to choose a number between 2 and 10, not number 7.
Number 4, please.
Number 4, you have Meg Ryan. IMDb's list known for Meg Ryan.
Okay, so
this is probably one of the easier ones, I would have
When
thought.
Harry Met Sally.
That is 1 point for Adam. See, Jeremy's brain work.
I'd be better off with Melanie Griffiths. God, Meg Ryan.
Come on, think of all those films Meg Ryan did.
Did she do a lot?
She did make this list, actually. There's one film on here, on this list in particular, that is actually a film I thoroughly enjoy. It's a weepy one, and you probably... Anyway, this is you. You should know all of these Meg Ryan films from the 80s and 90s. I mean, come on.
They were films that I avoided, to be honest. I pass, honestly. I can't think of anything else.
So the other ones you could have had... Let's have a go, Jeremy. You don't get any points, but see if you've got any.
Yeah.
You've got Mail.
Yep.
Top Gun.
No.
And the one where she's a drunk, but I can't remember what it's called.
No, you could have had Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh,
You've got Mal and City of Angels.
Oh, yes. Cool.
On my list that I absolutely love. And it's got mine and my wife's song in it. Oh, bless.
No.
Right, so, Jeremy. 10. Number 10. What a doozy for you, mate. Schwarzenegger.
Oh, right, but I've got to pick the ones he's known for.
This is so Arnold Schwarzenegger's top 4 known for on IMDb list.
I would go Terminator.
Yep.
Predator. Oh, what?
No, so that's 1. Sorry, mate. Not Terminator.
Oh, you hadn't fun as been standing, yeah?
Yeah, you did. You went
2 and you.
Oh, I'm going to give you half a point. All right. I'll give you half. All right.
I would go Predator.
Yep.
I would go Commando.
No, that's your second one.
I would go Conan.
No, sorry, mate. Not at all. The other
Kindergarten Cop.
No.
Tumor.
Put the cookie down. What was that one?
If it's one of the ones I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be gutted, aren't I?
Last Action Hero.
No.
True Lies.
True Lies. And The Sixth Day.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, I know. These are the ones that I looked at that, and it's like Schwarzenegger, like you say, Conan, Terminator, True Lies, and even Kindergarten Cop. I get it, but The Sixth Day, which is just a beam, I like it. I think it's a perfectly fine movie, but it's just not what I'd say he was known for. Okay, so Adam, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, or 9.
I'll have number 8, please.
Number 8. This is the one I wanted for Jeremy. Mr. Tom Cruise.
Right. A Few Good Men.
No.
Rain Man.
No.
Oblivion.
And you're out.
So I was well out the box then. I thought, just go out the box.
We had Top Gun.
Days of Thunder.
The Last Samurai.
Yeah.
Jerry Maguire. And Minority Report.
I would have said
But
that
again,
two
this
after
is what I'm
those
saying,
two.
outside of the box. Like you say, you've got Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
And, you know, those sort of Cocktail even, I would have said
Cocktail,
put there for that list of, so, you know, even Mission Impossible. But we have Minority Report, which as much as I like that film, I wouldn't say it's what Tom Cruise is known for. And even The Last Samurai, great film. Not what I'd say he was known for. It's why it's a bit weird, this. So, right, okay, Jeremy. So you've got 2, 3, 5, 6 or 9?
9.
You've got Jodie Foster.
I would have to say Silence of the Lambs.
Yep.
What was she in? Was she in Bugsy Malone or something like that?
No, mate. Sorry.
She was, but yeah.
Well, she was, but not in this.
That other one she did with Kelly McGillis. I don't remember what it's called. Summersby?
No.
I haven't got a clue.
I'd go Contact.
Yep.
And I'd go Thingy Room. Panic Room.
No, it's not on there, but I would have probably said that as current. Yeah. The other options you could have had were The Brave One and Taxi Driver.
Oh, God.
Taxi Driver. That's the one I was thinking of when she was a child.
Yeah. But the Brave One, again, it's just weird. Like,
what's that?
Exactly. After all of these films that you can say about Jodie Foster, is absolutely phenomenal. That's just a weird one. Probably a great film. I've never seen it. Okay, so we have left for Adam 2, 3, 5 or 6.
Number 2, please.
You have Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay. Scarface.
Nope.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Nope.
Catwoman.
No. But you mean Batman, but no.
Batman, yeah. Oh, God.
Right, not mate. Again, this
is... One more go. I've got one more go.
Let him have it.
Was she in Death Becomes Her? No, was it?
No, but you're... No, that's Goldie Hawn.
Which one was that? No. Oh, no, Gunham.
You could have had Hairspray, What Lies Beneath,
oh yes,
One Fine Day, and Dangerous Liaisons.
Dangerous Liaisons?
Yeah.
I didn't have any of them.
Have you ever seen What Lies Beneath?
It's a good film.
Yeah. Good film, Harrison Ford. They filmed that when they were doing Castaway, and they had to take a break so Tom Hanks could lose all the weight for the 6 months, for the bit later on. So they spent 6 months in the same casting, the same crew and unit and everything, just filmed that in the interim. So they was just like, instead of moving set and everything, we'd just film What Lies Beneath and then carried on. Okay, so for you, Jeremy, there is all still to play for you, Adam, because you're only 1.5 points behind him.
3.
You've got you've got Mr. Steve Martin.
Okay, I will go Roxanne.
1 point.
The Man with Two Brains.
No, brilliant film.
The Jerk.
2 points for Jeremy.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
No. Ruprecht, put the cork back on the...
And I love Steve Martin.
Yeah.
The Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
No, mate. Again, why not? You know what?
Parenthood?
No. The other options were LA Story and The Pink Panther.
Oh, goodness, really?
I really think someone at IMDb needs to check themselves. They really do. So that's 2 points for there, Jeremy. So Jeremy's on 12.5 points. Adam, you're on 9 points. So I don't think you can win now. But anyway, so
2 numbers.
5 or 6.
I'm going to go number 6.
Tom Hanks.
Big.
Bing. 1 point.
The Green Mile.
No.
Really?
Yeah, I know. But
okay,
Tom Hanks.
Let's go for Go for it. The Da Vinci Code.
No. I've got to say this, probably not think outside the box, this one.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, because this is Tom Hanks. Any film of Tom Hanks, I'd be okay with being on this list.
Can I? Oh, I wonder if they've put Toy Story down.
I haven't, mate, I'm afraid, and that was your last guess.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah.
I missed all that. What did he have?
Oh, no, don't tell him.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Big, Forrest Gump, Philadelphia and Apollo 13.
No, you would have got 2 points if it was you, mate. With Big, Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Saving Private Ryan.
I nearly said Private Ryan.
But every film you've mentioned of Tom Hanks would be worthy of being on that list, even the Da Vinci Code, because it's a known-for film. It's a very good film.
Knowing that they've put some films down that you just think, well, that really? Da Vinci Code, I would have thought they would have put that down there to try and give it a bit of promotion. There we go.
Yeah, right. So, Jeremy, it leaves you with number 5. Not to play for here. You have won, so this is just a victory lap here. But you have got Kurt Russell.
The Thing.
No.
Escape from New York.
No.
Overboard.
No. A good film, that.
Titanic.
Captain Ron in it. Is he the Overboard? Is it Captain Ron in Overboard?
No, I mean, not Titanic. It's the Poseidon Adventure.
No, we've got the Hateful Eight.
Right.
Hateful Eight.
8.
Escape from LA. Not New York. LA is what he's known for. That's actually what started this, because I was watching Big Trouble. I googled Kurt Russell, saw that, and I thought,
Death Proof?
This needs to be done.
Oh, they got Death Proof down there?
No, they haven't. They've got Executive Decision.
Oh, God.
And Tango and Cash, which,
Tango and Cash,
I'll allow that.
And he got 12.
12 and a half he got. I'm going to take the half off. He didn't need it. He said Terminator, and then he went to say Predator, so he's lying. So he got 12 points.
He tried
you
that
got 10. But gentlemen, that was something to behold. That I'm surprised at some of the answers there. Well done. Thank you very much for appeasing me.
Great quiz.
Right.
Some more.
Yep, I'm going to send them over to you, Adam.
Oh,
I'm going to send you a couple here, and then I'll do. Did we do Richard Munn? We didn't, did we? It was David was the last one we spoke.
Yes.
Right? And then we did Kyle as well, didn't we? So, okay. I'm going to send these gentlemen over to you. And if you'd like to read this out.
Wonderful. Lovely message from Richard Munn. Hi, guys. Thank you for your great podcast, for bringing out my inner Jedi and realising that everything was better in the 80s. Keep up your good work. Love. That's from Richard. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Lee Hancock.
Better in the 80s.
Yeah. Lee Hancock, thanks for your message to us. He says, hi, nerds. Keep up the good work. Always check out the page in the mornings and listen to your casts. Loving the old movie posters at the moment. Regards, Lee. Thank you, Lee. That's really great stuff. Thanks so much. And thank you all, everybody, for contributing to the group and listening to our podcast. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah. On that note, that's listening to the pod and makes everything worthwhile. We have got kind of hope, we unashamedly promote our Patreon. This is the first time that we're going to kind of officially announce it, isn't it, on here today? We've given it a year. It's going pretty well. So we thought, we spoke about this for a while. So as of when this podcast drops, hopefully the couple of days afterwards, we'll be notifying straight away on Facebook and social media that Patreon will be going live. And, it's the usual. I can say the usual spiel about keeping the lights on and, it helps fund doing what we do and making it worthwhile. It is worthwhile, and we will continue to do it with or without your financial support, because your support as just a listener and getting in touch with messages like this make everything worthwhile. They do, don't they? We speak about it. We have down days. I have a lot of them. You two get me out the funk of it. Some days I sit there and thinking, is it worth doing this podcasting thing? I'd rather be doing this. And I have these internal arguments in my head, and I'm sure we all have them sometimes. Sunday afternoon, you can't be bothered to do it. And then as soon as I hit record on that microphone, 99.9% of the time, it all goes away. And I'm, the other 0.1% recurring is me being hungover. But, most of the time it all goes away, and everything seems fun, and I'm sitting here talking with my mates, and that is what our ethos has always been here, is to just sit down, wax nostalgic, with my friends about stuff we grew up with and we still enjoy today, and even things that are coming out today, giving our retrospective on that. But obviously it would help drastically with support, financial support. So the Patreon would be starting off as little as the usual $1 a month, for the breakfast club, as we're calling it. And with that, you'll get the podcast on a Tuesday instead of a Friday, and an extra pod a month. You get that, this other show that we're going to be doing called Restricted, which is when we start we jump on the call, we start recording, and there's a lot of obscenity, nonsense and stuff, and it's just edited together in a clip show. There'll be extra, some of the Restricted might just be us having a really long pre-show conversation about a certain topic, but it's just filled with obscenity, or it's something that we don't want to put in the main show, and they're just off-the-cuff conversations. I mean, me and Adam, the other night we was on, and we ended up having a 45-minute conversation about 90s hip-hop, and it came out of nowhere, and it's recording, and they think, why do we not give this out to people? But obviously to do that, it does cost money to run the site. It costs money to run the hosting for this, and we don't mind doing it, but it would be helpful. And new equipment as well is something that we're looking to get, isn't it? I bought a mixer, it was wrong. I have to lose that. I lost 70 quid by getting that mixer for Christmas because it was the wrong thing, and that was partly me jumping down a rabbit hole, going, yeah, I need it, and I didn't really. But that's where we're looking to do this. So Patreon will be going live soon. You'll get extra shows. All the tiers will be on there. You can have a look through. Fine, continue listening as a listener without, your support is all we need. Seeing those download numbers every week is all that matters. But anything that comes our way will be greatly appreciated by all of us here. We
also have giveaways too. To our Patreons.
That's yes, to our patrons. Not because they're patrons, just because they're in the Patreon group. We can't actually say that is one of the perks, but it is something we will be doing for our patrons exclusively, is some giveaways. I know Adam's given me some great prizes. We've got some DVDs, we've got some classic VHS as well, some retro VHS that we want to give away at some point. Posters, there'll be, and when these Patreon things start coming in, we've been talking about bigger prizes, haven't we? Sort of near Christmas and things like that, of doing something, quite substantial and quite a nice prize to win as being part of that Patreon group.
So as for as little as £1 a month, where you've been getting your podcast for free, you can help keep everything going nicely and help us to pay for everything.
Yeah.
And get yourself entered into a prize draw.
Yeah. And
which isn't a prize draw. Prize draw.
Yep. Legal reasons. But yeah, so that's the thing. There is lots of content. The different tiers will bring you different things, but just your support enough as a loan. But there will be other podcasts we've got, coming up. We've got these restricted shows that we're doing. We're talking about doing a classic movie podcast in there, wasn't we? Every now and again dropping one where we just specifically focus on those movies that you remember walking into the video rental store and seeing those posters up, those iconic movies, your Indiana Jones, your John Carpenter's The Thing, those movies that are landmarks in cinema. We'll be solely focusing on that for 45 minutes to an hour maybe, on just that movie, and breaking down those movies that are the epitome of cinema and movie going.
So for just 25p a week, 25p a week, as little as that. So
you get all of that extra content as well. Yeah, I mean, there's tiers. You'll be getting different things. I mean, we're still working that out, but when it drops, we'll let you know straight away. Go onto Patreon, have a look. The other podcast that we will be doing, and this is me trying to create a segue here, is onto, we spoke about doing an extra podcast called Retro Focused. And Retro Focused will be one of us dominating an episode on a particular subject of their choosing, and breaking it down. If one of us isn't keen on it or one of us hasn't seen it, it's a way to sort of try and get that person to enjoy that thing that you so love. This is something, the passion project of ours individually. So we've all chosen 3 things, and I know that you two were still kind of hashing it out. We're all hashing it out still until the start of this, we've recorded about what our 3 things we were going to lock down for the Retro Focus show on Patreon. I might release one every now and again, a lot later to the public. So, you know, the patrons will get it a lot sooner. We'll eventually drop it onto our main feed just to see that people can get a taster of what the patrons are getting. So let's start with Jeremy again. What is your 3 things that you want to do a retro focus show on?
Well, obviously I'm going to do the A-Team because that's one of my favourite TV of all time.
Yeah.
More specifically, the first 3 seasons because they're the best ones. I would like to do Ray Harryhausen movies.
Cool. Okay.
I grew up with loving stop motion movies and watching Clash of the Titans at the cinema. My dad was one of my most joyful childhood experiences. And then I'm probably going to do classic Arnie 80s movies.
Arnie 8 is brilliant.
Which I'm thinking would be Conan, Terminator, Predator, Running Man, Total Recall, and Commando.
Cool. So just break down those films, you know, things about him. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, cool. Look forward to that. And Adam?
Mine is going to be Star Wars Episode 4, the theatrical cut. Kenner and Palatoy's first 12 Star Wars figures.
Yeah, brilliant.
And Blade Runner.
Good stuff. We can try and get Jeremy intelligent enough to enjoy it. My 3 will be the Sega Mega Drive, Red Dwarf, and the novelization. Well, not the novelization, but the book, Ready Player One, not the movie, the book. Okay, and that'd be me breaking down why it is echelons better than the POS movie that was brought out last year. So yeah, there'll be a retro focus show.
To be honest, of all of all our list, that's the one I'm most looking forward to hearing. To be honest with you, because it's a book that I thoroughly enjoyed on my one and only read, and I know you've read it multiple times. And
I'm in really the 50s now, I think. Yeah, somewhere in
really.
Yes, mate. Yeah. It's like the Holy Bible. I have a copy of it in my van. I have a copy of it in my bedside table. I have the audio book as well on me at all times. So Ready Player One's always there with me.
You guys probably know that Star Wars, the Episode 4, A New Hope. I'm now into 1,300 times of seeing that film. So we're in the same kind of boat there, man.
It's like the Ludovico technique. So just pin your eyes open.
In those two.
Brilliant.
So yeah, as a Patreon, you will receive your Retro Inc. podcast on a Tuesday. And the regular show will go out on Friday, so you'll always receive this before anybody else.
Well, I've just cemented myself into some real fast editing now, haven't I? No more falling asleep on the sofa. We also have some
exciting news as well. Now, Rob Wade, the head of Talk Star Wars, also runs another concern and a fantastic website and blog, Emotionally 14, which is a fun geek blog with 2 podcasts, The Crazy Train, the comedy podcast with no rails, get on board, and E14 Gamecast, their show all about gaming from tabletop to video games. And they have a regular YouTube series called E14 Toy Box, a show unboxing with kids' Hero Clicks miniatures, and E14 Plays, which is their playlist for Let's Play content. And they also endorse podcasts, and we are one of those that they will be endorsing, which is great news for us as well. There are some fantastic other podcasts in there, including The Roman and the Cast, which is a great Canadian comedy show. We also have the other duo as well you guys like listening to, which is
Long Talks.
Indeed it is.
They are great guys.
Tumbling Saber, of course, as well. So, you know, there's TSW Comics is also on there too. Oh my God, there's some great stuff happening within the Star Wars Commonwealth, and some other little bits and pieces which will be coming to our listeners and their listeners very soon. So some really great news.
Fantastic stuff, mate. We do have one more. Unfortunately, we have 2 more pieces that have been sent in to us, but one of them is from my good friend Charlie. So he sent it in a format that I cannot open at this current time and edit into this. So what we'll do is we'll pick up that one on the next episode. Okay, we'll pick up Charlie's message then, and we are running pretty long with this now. So the But the last one is from our long-term listener, my good friend and family member of mine, Mark. And before anyone says, I see him about twice a year because he lives in Wales. So when we're close. We're very close when we see each other. Very, very close. But I don't see him that often. But this is from Mark, and this was on Podbean. He actually sent us this. This was he actually sent us this a couple of weeks ago, and knowing that it was our 1 year coming up. But this is another great chat, lads. As much as I believe myself to be a fan of most geek topics, Star Wars definitely being one of them, the Star Wars celebration was an amazing experience. Oh, yeah, because we were speaking about going there, wasn't we? It was an amazing experience, but took geekdom to a whole new level for me. It also showed me how so many like-minded people coming together to share in these experiences can be an amazing thing. It's been a pleasure listening to Retro Inc. The banter, laughs, and chemistry between you three guys flows nicely, even during the epic failed attempt at answering each other's quizzes. The Game of Thrones quiz was killing me listening to it. Lol. Keep it up, lads, and happy birthday, Retro Inc.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Mark. He talks about Star Wars celebration, and that was like when I watched Star Wars with my daughter, and I saw her, her eyes light up at certain bits, and how Phantom Menace, I saw it through her eyes. It was similar like that with Mark when I took him to Star Wars celebration. He was like literally a kid at Christmas. He was walking around, and I've never seen him so jovial before. Everything was amazing. It was brilliant because, Mark is he's served in the army for us, and obviously, it's quite a male bravado sort of area. A lot of them are geeks. I know that. I know a couple of the guys that he served with, but I don't think he'd really ever sort of stepped into the world of nerddom so much as when he walked through those doors of celebration. But yeah, cheers, Mark, for that. Absolutely brilliant message. And yeah, that's all I've got for this week's episode, unless you two have got anything you want to add.
Well, just would like to thank all our members of our Facebook group for your contributions over the past year. You know who you are. You're all fantastic. For your continued support, and popping little posts up here and there is always wonderful. We'd love to get you to get in contact with us more often. So please do email the show at contact@retroinc.co.uk. We'd love to get questions for the show more regular, because it's great to hear from you guys.
Indeed. So you just stopped really abruptly then. It's expertly done every time, though. I should know now that it's so scripted in his head that he's just got it down. But he got the email address this week. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
That was good. Well done. But yeah, that's all I've got for tonight. Jeremy, you want to add anything?
Just another big thank you for everyone who's been listening and everyone who messaged us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, indeed. I think I've echoed those sentiments enough tonight. Big night, though. Patreon. A14 endorsed. Look at that. It's pretty good, isn't it? And there was me last week going to throw the towel in.
We caught the towel.
Yeah, you did catch the towel. Yeah, I wasn't really. I was just having a bad week. But that's because work and life is nowhere near as much fun as Sunday nights recording this. So it's been me. It's been them. Thank you very much, and welcome to season 2 of Retro Inc.
You've seen ya.
He did it.
Start next year a bit better.